Hey, welcome back, YouTube, for another episode of Lone Wolf Survival. I'm Shane, and with me this weekend is Paul.
Hey, everybody.
And we're out here at Amicalola Park, and the purpose of this little scenario that we're putting out for you, we've been talking about bug-out bags a lot. We've been doing a lot of the bug-out bag preparation and what you carry, what you need to carry. So we thought it'd be interesting to throw a little change up. Make two 72-hour bags that we've packed out. I having a light bag, Paul having a little bit heavier bag, showing you some of the differences in what we carry as far as equipment, food supplies, things like that, our shelter systems, and how two people can work together carrying different items in a dual community role. If there's something that I don't have, Paul may have it. Something that Paul doesn't have, I may have it. We kind of work off each other's. That lets us be more flexible in what we're actually packing out and bringing out here. So it's been raining all weekend. The ground is absolutely saturated. It seems like every time we've been doing this lately, it's been raining on us, which is actually pretty good because it allows you to show exactly how difficult this is in adverse weather conditions, to when there is no dry fuel on the ground. And it's very difficult to get a fire. And like I've talked about before, sometimes you may not be able to get a fire, and you may have to go with alternate means. Now, luckily, we have two systems going right now that we're preparing our dinner for tonight. So the first one I want to talk about is a Dakota Stove. And you'll see, in front of me, you'll see the actual Dakota Stove. And our other system that we're using, and in conjunction with the Dakota Stove, is a small product that you can buy at Walmart, Bass Pro Shop, any of your sporting goods stores, is a sterno stove, which is simply a little fold-up grill top. Comes with a stainless steel cup, comes with a stainless steel little pan, and a spork. So we're going to talk about food content items in just a little bit, but I want to start behind me, and I want you to see our pack set out. Because taking into consideration, again, this is a 72-hour system. This is a 3-day system that we're trying to carry with us, and we're trying to pack as light as we possibly can. So you've seen it before. We've talked about them. We like the Eno bags. This is a really good setup. Takes up very little real estate in your bag. And a simple tarp in an A-frame configuration over top of me. We've grouped them close together. So we've got overlapping tarps. We're trying to stay close to our fire source, which is going to be our Dakota Stove. You can see in the background behind me, I've actually taken a bottle, plastic bottle, and I've got a small stick on the inside and some paracord. Like I said, it's been raining all day, and I've got the tarp pulled down, and I've actually got me a little drip still going back here to where water runs off, rainwater runs off the tarp, runs down the paracord into the bottle. I've got, if I'm going to have to drink straight water without treating, and I'm not telling you don't treat your water, if I'm going to have to drink water without treating, I would rather drink the rainwater than directly from the river source because of Giardia, other bacteria like that. Now I'm still going to treat this water because as long as I have fire, I'm going to boil my water. We've talked about this many times before, but I'm just showing you a couple different little systems that you can put together with your basic shelter system. So 2 Eno bags, 2 small tarps. This is going to keep us dry, pretty comfortable. This is a good light pack 3-day setup. So what I want to do now, I want to go in and I want to talk about my setup as far as what I'm carrying. Talk about my bag configuration first, which you've seen this bag many times. This is the one that I always carry. It's my Smith & Wesson M&P bag. Lightweight bag, many pockets. I've got my hunting knife, flashlight, extra light, some small carabiners. I've got a change of clothes in here in case I get wet. Contents of bag. I've got my cold steel machete, 2 bottles of water. I have a water filtration bottle. You've seen this one before. I've talked about this bottle before. Also carrying iodine tablets and stabilizer. This is good because since there's 2 of us out here, we run out of water, we need to treat it. We don't have fire. There's enough in here that I can treat mine and Paul's water. Doesn't take up a lot of real estate, not weighing me down. Also water, live straw, 50 gallons. So I have different means of purifying water, collecting water. Some of the other things I'm carrying: stainless steel cup, 2 pocket knives, bottle of nasal spray. We've had this discussion before. I've got a bottle of Aleve, Deep Woods Off, cigarette lighter. There are about 4 in here. Combination spoon, knife, Ozark Trail, bottle opener, pocket knife. Some other items: bill light. I have my compass. I have a waterproof map. I have another cigarette lighter, pack of matches. I have a knife sharpener. I have a snake bite kit. Another small utility knife, small utility tool with a flashlight on it. Fire starter. We like these. I've talked about these before. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate. It's actually what kind of helped us get going today, because there is nothing dry out here. We had to core out some deadfall to get some actually burnable wood. Bio wipes, toilet paper, basic first aid items. Got a wound medic kit, outdoor wound kit with sea locks. Got some elixir, water tablets, electrolyte tablets. Once again, I'm not carrying a lot of weight on me. Have a survival candle for giggles. 3 wick. Got a pack of matches. I can also use this in the sterno stove. If I run out of sterno, I can use it for light. I can use it for a heat source if I've got to pull my tarp in. If I'm not off the ground in the Eno bag with the overhead tarp, if I want to pull it down close to the ground and do like a pup tent style, I can use this for light or heat if I have to. 16-inch glow sticks. I have 3 of them in here. I don't want to burn the batteries up in my flashlight, because I have extra batteries, but I only have 2 sets of batteries for that flashlight that I have in my bag. These are good alternates. These are good alternate light sources. 3 days worth of food. Currently cooking lasagna with meat sauce, sweet and sour pork, beef stew, ready to eat beef barbecue sandwiches. These things are great. By the way, Paul gets none of. These are all mine. Trail mix. Cliff bars. I can drag this out for 3 days. Now you're going to see a difference in what I carry and what Paul carries. I'm about lightweight. I like the freeze dried. This doesn't take up a lot of weight. I got 3 days worth of food in here. And then any other comfort items that you might want to pack in here. So I really don't have a lot of gear with me, but what I have, I'm okay for the next 3 days. I can do 72 hours with what I have. Good shelter, cooking sources. I've got food. I've got water. I'm in a good position right now. Some other little things you might want to throw in and want to think about. I have a different setup. Paul's going to talk to you about his setup. We talked about slingshots before. This is just something I threw together in about 5 minutes. I have some of the ones with the whisker biscuits on it. I didn't bring that one with me. It's a simple keychain, some paracord. I've made an arrow nock. I can pack a small arrow in on my pack. Took the tip off for safety purposes. And there you go. Now I've got a small hunting tool. I can use this for small game. Of course, and in operating, I've got steel balls that I can use for hunting squirrels, rabbits, such as that. This folds up, fits in my pack. This goes on the side. Broadhead comes off, goes in one of the pouches. Something to consider when you're packing your 72-hour bag out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to let Paul talk about what he's got in his bag, and then we'll circle back and we'll finish up on some things.
Hey YouTube, it's Paul here. I'm usually on the other side of the camera, but it's time you get to see my smiling face. So we're talking about a little bit of Bugout bags and what we carry with us, and I packed a little bit heavier in a bigger bag, but still kind of light yet. So this is my new bag. You'll be seeing this a lot lately. or a lot more often. But up in the front, I keep a hygiene kit, soap, Q-tips, some dental floss, toilet paper, gotta have it, toothbrush, hand sanitizers, mouthwash, deodorant, just all the basics. I also carry about 250 to 300 feet of paracord, a must for when you're out in the woods. Let's see. For food, I've got a few things on the stove over here. I've got a can here. I've got a couple more cans in my backpack. I've got about 3 days worth of food. I could ration them out to about 5 if I really have to. I've got 6 bottles of water. There's 4 here. There's 2 on the side in my canteen. Let's see what else. 3 days worth of clothes, towels, washcloth, all the basics. We're Eno bagging it this weekend, so the weather's supposed to be fairly nice. Here's the bags here. The weather's supposed to be fairly nice, and I didn't want to take up a lot of real estate carrying around a sleeping bag or anything, so I just brought 2 blankets, 1 fleece, 1 wool. It's only getting down to the mid-50s, so that's plenty for the weekend. Let's see, I've got my machete, defense knife, general purpose knife, got a knife on my side, pocket knife in the pocket. Also got coffee, creamer, and sugar because Paul doesn't live without coffee. Soap and sponge, clean up after you're done eating and food and whatnot. Got a rain poncho. In my bag I've got another poncho, emergency blanket, and that's about really all I'm working with this weekend. Now the one thing I do catch a lot of flack about bringing with me is my oven mitt.
Oven mitts, because we bake a lot of cookies in the forest. Really. But on a lighter note, actually an oven mitt, we actually use one quite a bit for things. It's actually good for taking cans off of Dakota stoves. Also, if we're going to do a hot rock distillery system where we actually line the plastic or put the plastic down and then put the water into the little pool and then take hot rocks from the fire and put in to boil the water, to be used for that too. So yes, he carries an oven mitt. What am I going to do with him? So anyway, on a lighter note, so we've looked at the 2 different setups. Paul's running kind of heavy. He's basically brought his entire home with him with wash rags and cloths and 3 days worth of clothes, and that's a good short-term run. He has running about 40 pounds of gear and equipment, where I'm running about 20 pounds of gear and equipment. The good thing about it is if I need something, he's got it. The bad thing about it, I can't wear his t-shirts because they're too small. So, you know, we're going to have to work on that. Sorry about that, Paul. A little short joke there. So, the difference between dehydrated food versus canned food. Bottled water, a couple of bottles versus purification systems versus 6 bottles. All these things you've got to put into consideration on where you're going, what the terrain is, how long are you going to be out there, how long you're planning for. A 72-hour bag can be a light bag with bare necessities. It can be a heavier bag, and you can with more creature comforts, more supplies. You got to look at fatigue, things like that. So it really depends on what you're planning for, what kind of gear and equipment you're going to put in that bag, and then what kind of comfort level do you need to make it through that term. And when I talk about creature comforts, they say, well, it's a survival, so I don't need to be comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that that's a load of bull. There are things, there's morale boosters that you have to have. There are certain things. The difference between cold chow and hot chow is a morale booster. Simple things like flavoring for your water is a morale booster. Is it going to get you through the day? Probably not. But it's going to make you feel better at the end of the night, whatever situation you're in. So these are all things to take into consideration. So you've seen 2 different loadouts. You've seen a heavy loadout and a light loadout. Both are geared for 3 days worth of out in the area, out in the environment. I'm just running extremely light. I'm not carrying a lot of this stuff. I have a smaller bag. So we're running the same shelter systems, different food systems, different water systems. This is what you need to talk about with the people in your group, or if you have a prep partner, or you have someone that you go out, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, whoever it is. If you're going to do the team up or the ranger buddy scenario, this is what you got to look at. What do you have and what do I have, and what can we bring together? So that's the overview of what we're doing on this, and we're going to be shooting more of this. The next one we're going to be shooting is a 4-person bug out, where each individual has a completely different loadout in their bag to come together to make a community shelter and community systems as far as food and water and other prep items. So, out from Amicalola, once again, it's Shane and Paul with Lone Wolf Wilderness Survival. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be safe, have fun.